my friend.
I love her. She's one of my faves.
Oh my god. He said okay. Alright. Okay. Hey guys, I'm Emma, aka Let's CP Chick, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Emma. I'm a 20-something college student trying to figure out how to navigate life with CP in college. And this is my friend Melissa. She's with me today, and today we figured we were going to talk about some mobility hacks. But first, Melissa, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit more?
I'm Melissa. I'm 24 years old today.
It's
my birthday. I have spina bifida, so I'm a fellow advocate for, people with disabilities. I like to do all I can to get the word out and do what I can to. So that's why I'm here.
So what is spina bifida for those of us who are young?
So in its most basic sense, spina bifida is where a baby is born with part of their spinal cord exposed. And depending on how high up on the spinal cord the opening is, usually the more severe the spina bifida is. So for me, I have what's known as myelomeningocele. It's basically just a fancy word for, it's a little more on the mild side of spina bifida. So my opening was a little bit lower on my back. And so the lower it is, the less that it affects you.
So as a person trying to compare and contrast this with CP, it would be so with CP you have a scar on your brain, right? So it would be depending on where the scar is how severe it is. It's kind of like the same thing.
Basically, yeah.
Basically. But in obviously different terms.
Yeah.
So she's here visiting for her birthday, and on Friday I was getting ready to go to a midterm, and we were talking about I was like, oh my gosh, where I was planning on carrying my coffee without a lid, and I was like, wait, I need a lid. And then she was like, where are you that's mobility life hack number.
Because you gave it a big number. You said it was mobility hack number 5,162. I was like, girl, no, that's number 2 on the list.
Yeah, it's number 2.
That's right next to.
Didn't you say that's elevators? It's right.
Yeah, it's right next to elevators.
So
you got it.
That sparked an idea in my head because I'm always thinking about those things. And so I asked a question on my Instagram, which is that CP Chick. I'll put the handle ish. It's hard with this camera to it. I said mobility hacks. And then we thought about how do we find mobility versus accessibility. Mm-hmm. And so for different people,
because you posed the question about mobility hacks.
Yeah.
And so that got me thinking what is it? What is mobility? What's the difference between is there a difference between mobility, accessibility? I was just curious about how people would respond to that kind of question.
And I was too, and I think this morning when we were talking about this, we talked about mobility being how you get around the world, mm-hmm. and accessibility is how you make things easier to access mm-hmm. things in the world. And so for this video's purpose, that's how we're going to define it. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, I post this to see if anybody had mobility hacks on Instagram, and I got some really cool responses. I'm trying to find my way back to them. At Tammy Turner 15 said, manicures, for manicures you turn a bowl upside down and rest your hand so it appears spread and more relaxed. And I was like, that's genius. And then she said, use scissors to cut food. And then somebody else said, use a shopping cart. No matter what you buy, it makes walking through big stores easier. And I thought about this because yesterday we were at Eagles and you said the exact same thing. You're like, I like to push the cart because it makes walking easier.
Yeah, because I'm not very good at just like if I'm walking, it's because I'm going somewhere. Like I don't just casually walk.
Right.
And so when I'm like in the grocery store, and like it's just so much to have a cart. Like even if I'm just going in for one thing, like I will always, like 9 times out of 10, I'll always have that cart because it's so nice to just have that
Extra
little bit in front of you just to hold on to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes a difference. It's easier, especially when you have to like start and stop so much.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm not good
For
at starting and
sure,
stopping.
because I know that when I have to go somewhere, I'll like block people out. Like I won't hear them if they're trying to talk to me, just because I have that one goal of like getting to class in one piece,
Right.
and not like falling. So another one, she said, using a backpack instead of a messenger or shoulder bag. It can be hands-free for a focus on walking.
Mm-hmm.
And she and I got to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
And for people with spina bifida, what did you say?
Well, we were talking about backpacks versus like rolling book bags.
Yeah.
But that's a good point too about like not messenger bags. Like messenger bags, I think for both CP and spina bifida, like messenger bags are not your friend because they're gonna push you to one side, and you don't need, like we already have that problem. We always need something to stabilize us, and backpacks are gonna do that. The only thing, like, and that's why people with CP probably will most likely do better with backpacks as opposed to rolling book bags because the hands are where people with CP struggle more usually. What?
It's just, I keep thinking about when I was little. I always had this argument with my mom about how I did not want a rolling backpack.
Oh, girl, me
Like,
too.
I did not want one, but my mom was like, yes,
But then I got it. I got one, and oh my gosh, it was my favorite.
But it wasn't my favorite because I wanted to be like everybody else. And when you're walking around school, you gotta carry like a rolling backpack. People like walk on it, they trip on it, like.
That's why you get the ones with the light up wheels, so they'll be like, whoa, back off. Like, it's like caution lights.
I don't know if this is related, but I was talking to somebody when I walked to class. We both go to the same small college, and when I walk to class, it's like all uphill. And so I was telling somebody who was behind me, so I feel bad for the people that are walking to class behind me because I'm just trying to get up the hill. Like I walk like a slower speed to get up the hill. I need hazard lights or like
put a blinker on your
turn signals or something to let them know I'm coming.
I was just saying that people with CP would tend to do better with the actual backpack, like with the straps on both sides. But people with my type of disability would do better with the rolling book bag because it's
less damaging to their back.
It's much better for your back because for us, the back is the problem area. So anything you can do to keep weight off of your back is going to be a good thing. So it's different for everyone. You just kind of have to play around with it.
Just kind of have to play around and adjust. And a lot of how we find these hacks is through messing up. It's through falling. It's through figuring out that what you're doing doesn't work. And so what's important is these hacks might not be for you. They might not work.
Yeah, because everybody is different.
Everybody is different. We just wanted to throw out some suggestions.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep rolling.
Yeah.
Melissa, she wears AFOs. And
if you want to be technical, I wear one AFO on my right leg.
Oh.
And then on my left leg, I got a nice little setup known as a KAFO, which is basically just it's a longer brace that goes up my leg. It's known as it stands for knee, ankle, foot orthotics, where AFO is just ankle, foot orthotics.
Yeah.
KAFO is knee, ankle, foot. So it basically just gives me a little more support because like my left side is a little bit, it's just not as good as my right side, which is fine. This brace really helps a lot. But we were talking about things that can help for AFOs, and Emma doesn't wear them, but I just had a few tips, and the big one for me is for spina bifida in general, because it is a spinal cord injury, it causes paralysis in varying forms. Like it's different for everyone, but because paralysis is a problem, so is skin breakdown, and that's like the number one thing that people with spina bifida have to watch out for is skin breakdown. So because of that, my number one tip for AFOs is wear socks. Like, watch your feet. Like, wear socks. Because, like, I've known, like, I work at a camp, Camp Crazy Legs, shout out, by the way. And, like, I see so many kids walking around in their AFOs and they're not wearing any socks. And it just makes me cringe because it's like, that's plastic up against your skin.
Right, and you need to wear, like, not just, like, you know, regular socks, like ankle socks. No, you gotta wear the knee-high
Knee-high
socks.
men's socks are really good for it too. For the KAFOs was that just making sure that you've got stuff for the top too. And that's a little trickier because KAFOs are not as common. So like when I was little and I had my I actually wore KAFOs on both sides when I was younger. So what I did was I would get like the men's socks and I was actually able to just cut the tops off of the men's socks and wear the top of it like to cover up the top of my leg. And that worked just fine, but then of course I grew up and you know that doesn't work anymore. So I started doing like the casting stockings, like when you get your AFOs, they have to cast you. You can always ask for like a roll of the stuff that they before they cast you, and that could last you for a while. And then if not, they also make ones that are specifically designed for KAFOs. So those are all really good options. Point is to just pick one because you have to protect your skin. It's
right.
Like, it's the biggest organ that you have. You have to keep it
Yeah, you gotta keep it healthy.
Yeah.
And like we said, again, you just kind of have to figure out what works for you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's different, so.
Just make sure to check your skin.
Exactly.
Do you guys, skin issues probably aren't as big of an issue as CP though?
I don't know. Somebody let me know down in the comments if for CP skin is a big issue. The only thing that I could think of is, let's see, I actually unfortunately have something that I could show you.
She's got matching ones.
I've got matching ones. There we go. The only thing would be infection of things from falling. Matching on my knees too. Mm-hmm. But didn't plan it this way.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of falling.
Yeah, speaking of, nice segue. We were talking about if, you know, because usually if you're in physical therapy, you get taught how to fall. So that you don't hurt yourself as much because you do it so often. Mm-hmm. Do you want to share?
Sure. Well, my big thing, like, I have another friend who has CP, and he struggles a lot with keeping his balance. He doesn't wear AFOs or anything, but he does walk with a cane, and he struggles with falling a lot. And one thing that he was taught in physical therapy, at your feet so much, try to look further out. And he's also just started driving, and they sort of gave him the same kind of advice, like, in order to stay like straighter on the road, you know, they tell you like keep your eyes forward, because if you look off to the side, you're automatically like subconsciously you're gonna like veer towards the direction that you're looking. So it's the same concept when you're walking, like especially for people like us, like when we have to pay more attention when we're walking, we have to make sure that we are focused like as far forward as we can, so that we stay going in that direction and going well. So
my thing is I often look down.
Yeah, I do
when
too.
I walk, because you never know, like there's gonna be a little thing in the concrete or like a stick or a leaf that's gonna jump out at you and cause you to wipe out. And my big fear is like look down because you're gonna trip. See, and I was always taught like look up. Like we did, you know, countless exercises. Shout out to Miss Amy if you're watching this. We did countless exercises I know of me like looking up and trying to practice walking and looking up.
If you're looking at the ground, if your head's down and you're looking at the ground and you trip, like you're automatically going to be in a place where even if you see something coming and you go to trip, like you're going to be more likely to fall because your head is down. If you're looking straight ahead and you do trip, you're going to be in a better, like your balance is going to be better because your head's up and it's facing forward. Like I was literally just thinking about that, like, so that, like.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you're, like if you keep your head up, I know that for a lot of people with CP, keeping your head up is a big thing because of the the muscles
on your neck.
back here, like if they can get tight, it's hard to keep your head up because it's not comfortable. So I know that keeping your head up is a big thing.
Plus, it's just good for confidence.
It really is.
Keep your head up, guys.
You gotta keep your head up
Keep
so
that
you can let your
Superman
hair
pose.
down. Oh yeah.
Just walk around in Superman all the time.
Just do it. I'm gonna start doing that.
Not only will you trip less, you'll feel better.
Exactly. If you do trip, you'll be like, yeah, but I was.
It's fine. I'm Superman.
Superman.
It's fine.
Superman pose. Just case in point. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there it is. Is my phone. How did it get that way, you ask? Well, first somebody stepped on it. So that was me. But then I was walking and I was carrying my phone and I tripped.
Dun, dun, dun.
This happened. So my probably number one hack now is put your phone in your purse, put your phone in your backpack. My parents will be proud when they hear this one. Do not walk and talk on your phone. If we have to focus so much on heel toe, one foot in front of the other, why should we be talking
This
on
is
the phone?
tried and true for my side of the spectrum too. Like, we can't multitask. Like,
No.
if we walk in, we gotta
You
concentrate
just gotta
on
keep going.
We gotta concentrate on walking. Like,
Yeah, you just
I tell
gotta-
people all the time, like, if I'm walking and I see someone I know, like I'll just tell them, like, look, I can't walk and talk. Can we sit? Can we stop? Like, if you see someone you know, like, just take them to the side and sit them down and talk to them. Like, don't try to multitask, because that's a good way to fall. But the phone is definitely, keep your phone safe, guys.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
obviously
keep it
important.
safe.
It's handwriting.
All right.
Who else has terrible